Combining all of those skills together, the art and the science, the thinking and the doing, was what resulted in the exceptional result.
What's going on, my fellow YouTube traders? I'm going to go over a quick trade that I took today, Friday, December 7th. It was a short. It's actually my second short of the day. First short I had taken was previously around was at 27.06, and then I flattened that ahead of the news that we had at 10 a.m. and I retook the short once we broke back into Thursday's range. Set the premises of the trade is that we were trading at the higher quartile of Thursday's range, and after we had a pretty big range yesterday, I think it was around 78 points of range, we had tested lower and then found buyers towards midday and pushed all the way back up and finished bullish. So today I was looking to see if we broke above yesterday's high, I was going to be bullish. If we attempted to break higher but then found some buyer failure and I saw some weakness in the tape, then I'd be looking to take it short back into the range and then start really working its way down. So what you're going to see here is me retake the short. You can see here, as I noted, prior day's high was at 99.25. So once we had pressed all the way down to 96.50, I'm looking to take the short on a retest of yesterday's high, this green line. So you'll see me hit it with two. I have a bracket order, and I'm just really trying to work this trade all the way basically down to the Globex mid, which was at 84.50. So I'm going to front run it by about a point or so, and then pretty much call it a day. I've been sick, as you can tell probably by my voice, so I wasn't really trying to press it today. So let's get this started. Right at the overnight high, you see the orders automatically go, and you start seeing some liquidity. See these thick white lines? That's liquidity coming in the market, so I'm paying attention to that around those 96s. So this trade kind of takes a while, so I'm going to actually speed it up, but I just want you to see the thought process of the trade. We fell back into range. That's a sign of weakness. If bulls really had it and we had pushed above yesterday's high, especially over the 2700 mark, it's a major strike price, a century figure, you would want to see us start pushing and pushing higher. But as you can tell, look at all these negative delta divergences, and the overall delta was flat, and now it's going back to negative, as well as I have some other indications here on other screens. If you look at the S&P breadth, if you look at the ticks, everything was pretty much weak. You can see here some sell side pressure coming in, not too big of size, but again, it's moving easily to the downside versus to the upside. So I start seeing somebody reload here in the 96s, so you'll see me start playing with this first scale out. Just pay attention to this reload when it comes in up here. See 180, 185, 150, 199, 200. You see these reloads, so I move it. I want to start reducing some risk right away. So I take that one off, and at this point, I got some pretty good risk off the table, and now I'm just letting this one contract ride, and we'll see how that plays out. I added the chart up here in this top right corner so you guys can kind of visually see what it looks like on the chart. I had some people ask me if I can put a chart up because they're not fully into the order flow, so I'm making sure you guys see my ladder and the footprint, and I've incorporated the chart. And what you see here in this painting, these are just basically rotations. It gives me an idea as who's dominant. If there's a 5.25 rotation down and a 2.75 rotation up, then 3.75 down, so it's looking like the rotations are expanding to the downside. I'm on the right side of the trade. I'm following the flow. As you can see here, look at some size now really coming into the bid. 457, 300, 300, 300. Okay, I was just speeding up this trade a little bit here. I'm just trying to make this a quick trade, not feeling too good, but as you can see, we're pushing down. We're now into 93s. We're approaching the opening print. We're approaching yesterday's close at 91.5. And as you can see here on the chart, just the rotations are expanding to the downside. So far, I'm feeling pretty good about the trade. I'm on the right side of the trade, and I'm just waiting to see how we'll react once we break below the opening print. Do we get an acceleration of sellers, buyers puking out, and more sellers piling on? You see that somebody reloaded right there. Look at that 500, 600 reload, but it's not upticking. No real uptick. Take it, push it lower. See that they're reloading here on the bid, but they're not really pressing this that much higher. Small size printed into the offer. That's that increase in speed in the sell side. So again, you see me move my order. I should have moved it to 85.50 right away, but I'm trying to pay attention to the order flow while I'm moving it down. I don't want to see this flicker all the way back up. We had some pretty wild swings yesterday, so I'm keeping that in mind. That even though yesterday seemed like a sell day, we went straight bid up towards midday and then all the way into the afternoon. And there you go, moved it to 85.50. See here the rotations, you see how they're expanding to the downside. 3.75, 4.25, 6.75. You can see that as well here on the footprint chart. So the sell side is the dominant side. Pretty much been trending down. My definition of trending down is just, we know we're not taking out the previous pivot highs. It's just a trend. Short-term intermediate trend. That should be more specific. And you'll see here, and then we just eventually start flushing down. 85.50 was my first target. I was looking for a rotation back up to 91s to then eventually reshort and then look for 79s and then hold a runner for 69. But market didn't want to give me that. It just pushed and just started sinking all the way lower. I think we got to there you go, there's the trade, there's my exit. So that was a good trade. Took about 10 minutes, I believe, or 10 to 12 minutes overall. Made about $775 on that trade, and then the market proceeded to move lower and lower and lower. We had about an 86 point range today, so pretty crazy to see that. But that was it. That was just a quick trade I wanted to show you guys. The thesis again was we were trading towards yesterday's high. We pushed above yesterday's high. We got above the 2700 mark, and buyers could not hold above. And once we started rotating back down, the thesis was market's weak. We could start seeing some sell side pressure. So take the trade once we're back into yesterday's range and start working some predefined levels that I had done previously through my technical analysis, but whatever levels you guys use, start targeting those levels. So again, paying attention to the order flow and paying attention to the expansion of the rotations kept us on the right side today and made some decent money. All right, guys, hope you're having a good time, and I'll be posting another video soon.
Combining all of those skills together, the art and the science, the thinking and the doing, was what resulted in the exceptional result.